Well, we could talk about escapism in the entertainment industry, but let's talk song. Today I'm going to listen to Biffy Clyro's third single, Goodbye. The album Futique is finally out, and I really want to learn more about the songwriting approaches of one of my favorite, if not my favorite bands in the world. So without further ado, let's get going. Step 1, find the key. I thought D minor for some reason, but I don't know because now we're doing something else. Intro was just a sphere, if you will, a pad without a clear chord, so we directly go into the first singing bit. So, in fact, D major. Let's find the chord progression. I think it's a 6 minor 5 4 progression with something at the end that I don't quite get. It's not a 6 minor 5 4 thing, but instead a 6 minor 5 2 minor. So, the chord progression is a 6 minor 5 2 minor 4, okay? So, that's the thing. B minor, A major, E minor, G major. A cool minor major change, if you will. And the next thing we are going to look at is the melody. Ba-da-da-dum. First melodic idea, first motif. You're out of bed. We can't avoid it, it'll bite in the end. Okay, so we've got chord notes, but an interesting emphasis on the A. Okay, so we've got... Sorry? Okay, so if we look at the rock solid notes, the notes that kind of are the important bits of the melody, we do ba-da-dum. So this is the first note we land on, which is the A, which makes total sense because we're playing the A major chord. Da-da-da-bum. Here we go to the E minor chord and sing the G on top, which is the third of the chord, minor third I should say. Ba-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. Where we've got, on the G major chord, we've got the G and the D as prominent notes, both featuring in the chord, and then we kind of go back to bum, F sharp over B minor. So we've got chord notes in the melody. I'm out of reach, you're out of bed, we can't avoid it, it'll bite in the end. I would say that this is kind of an XA rhyming pattern where we've got relatively short lines and every second line rhymes. Let's see if that pattern continues.
Today's over, so let's not pretend we can start over, have things to defend.
Okay, so this was clearly the second verse half with a weird rhyme, because over and over is just the same word, doesn't necessarily rhyme. The lyrics are yesterday's over, so let's not pretend we can start over, have things to defend. I'm not a big friend of repeating a word in order to make it rhyme, because it's kind of lazy writing. But in that case, because start over and yesterday's over kind of mean different things, we can let it go. The chords stay the same, but the melody does interesting variations.
Yesterday's over, so let's not pretend. We can start over, have things to defend.
Okay, so we move everything a little bit up, okay? We keep some ideas from the first.
Yesterday's over.
Right, this is what we know. But and then we introduce a little variation. So let's not pretend. And then they go back to the original idea.
We can start over.
This we know from the first thing, and then they introduce a new variation.
Things to defend.
Right? Interesting. Let's see what's next.
I'm gonna leave here, explaining I know how I betrayed you and covered it up.
Interesting, because melody changes a little bit every time, right? We keep the metric structure and we also keep the chords. But arrangement and melodic movement make everything more tense and wanting us to move further.
I'm gonna leave here,
Again, stuff we know.
explaining I know.
New variation. And we're moving up every time we get there.
How I betrayed you
Up, up, up.
and covered it up.
Right?
I'll fall on my knees. I'll fall on my sword. I'll fall on my knees. I'll fall on my sword.
Ba-bum, bum.
No one will ever love you like I did before.
Okay, this was really interesting because clearly we have got the same idea from the verse. I think it was same chords. Let's confirm this.
My knees. I'll fall on my sword. No one will ever love you.
Metric rhythm changes a little bit because we have got more words and more syllables compared to before, right? I'm out of reach, you're out of bed, we can't avoid it. It'll bite in the end. This was the original idea in terms of lyrics and in terms of syllables. At the end, this becomes, I'll fall on my knees, I'll fall on my sword. No one will ever love you like I did before. Okay, so we've got a densification of the ideas combined with that melody movement upwards. We create tension to something that may or may not be the chorus.
Goodbye, my love. It was too much, but never enough.
Super interesting that they would take the verse progression, which was the 6 minor, 5, 2 minor, 4, and turn it into the major equivalent, if you will, which is 1 major, 5 major, 2 minor, 4. Changing one chord can change the whole feeling of the thing. In the verse, we were kind of sad. Now we are kind of happy, which is a very, very rudimentary approach to what major and minor actually do. And of course, the melody hook also changes everything.
Goodbye,
Ba-dum!
my love.
This I like especially because we've got the minor 7 of the E minor chord in the melody.
It was too much, but never enough.
Ba-dum, ba-da-da-dum, ba-bum, ba-da-da, ba-da-da-dum. Also cool landing on the 9 of the G major chord. So ba-da-da-da, da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. I like very much. Although both the verse and the chorus start their melodies after the downbeat, which is something that shouldn't create as much contrast, but they manage to do it anyway. With two different strategies. First, with the harmonic reharm from 6 minor to 1. And secondly, with a big contrast that melody offers, okay? Because now we have got a very hooky, very, very simple ba-da, ba-da, movement, which is really beautiful.
Goodbye, my lover.
Interesting that the Goodbye My Love turns into Goodbye My Lover, making this, of course, another melody as well. Lover. I think they go to the E there.
Goodbye, my lover.
Okay, lover. Going from the D up and down.
Why did we even bother?
Interesting rhyme. Goodbye, my lover. Why did we even bother, right? So, goodbye, my love. It was too much, but never enough. Interesting rhyme with love and enough. Very thoughtful. Goodbye, my lover. Why did we even bother? So, two not very perfect rhymes, two almost rhymes, but this really is something new and creative. Back to verse idea. All the ideas in terms of melody movement and chords that we know from verse number 2. The lyrics are now a faraway station, a stranger in a coat, you're my salvation, waiting in the cold. So what seemed to be an XA, XA rhyming pattern is now turning into an AB, AB thing, right?
I'm done repeat.
Is it the same chords?
I'm done repeating. But then again, no. The more
It's everything's the same in that second verse half, but it somehow feels like a pre-chorus or a transitional bridge. This is what happened in verse number 1, and this is what happens again. And I don't quite understand why. Is it only the melody, or is it also something that kind of changes the harmony in the bass or something?
I'm done repeating. But then
I
again,
mean, there is the string line that also gives it a new harmonic flavor.
I'm done repeating. But then again, no.
I'm done repeating, but then again, no. And they do that same melody variations that they do in the first verse.
Hope falls to the floor. No one knows anything. I know that for sure.
And also again with that very syllable intense last line before the chorus. So this is quite interesting that they use kind of syllable count or syllable number as dominant function, right? The more syllables they include into the last line before the chorus, the more the tension rises. Interesting, I've never seen this.
Goodbye, my lover.
Really beautiful hook.
Why did we even bother?
Double chorus, I imagine.
Goodbye, forever.
I want to know what that is.
Goodbye, forever.
What is that? That was beautiful.
Goodbye, forever.
I think. Goodbye. Is it that? Is it a flat 6 chord?
Goodbye, forever.
I'm not sure. I don't hear the flat 6.
Goodbye, forever.
Or is it 3 major with the 3rd in bass?
Goodbye, forever.
So it's certainly that A sharp or B flat, depending on where you look or where you come from. Certainly this in the bass. What I don't know if it's the A sharp that's the major third of that here, and that then nicely dominates to that 6 minor, that's definitely the next chord. Or if it's the flat 6 chord, it sounds more like this, okay? It sounds more like dominant chord, or secondary dominant, I should say, before the 6 minor chord, which is the 3 major chord with major third and bass. Really cool and really thoughtful reharm choice in that repetition of the chorus. Another reharm idea. Okay, so just to make sure we get it, the chorus repeats and we have got this interesting reharm idea with right, so it becomes 1, 3 major, 6 minor, 4, and then we go to a bridge.
Goodbye to everyone.
With a tiny reharm, this time really subtle, where the dominant 5 chord gets played with another bass note, with a major third and bass. We do D major first, but then A major with C sharp and bass, right? And then we go to the 2 minor 4 thing that we know from before. That's cool. I heard that A sharp thing again. But this time it does not sound like this secondary dominant with major third and bass. This time it's certainly B flat major, so this time it's certainly the flat 6 major chord of the D major scale. Very interesting that we would go from B minor to B flat major, and then we go to 1, and then we go back to 6 minor. So we've got 6 minor, flat 6 major, 1 major, 6 minor. And ending this idea with a G major to E minor, so kind of the reverse thing from the chorus where we always had E minor to G major, sorry. And interesting also that this instrumental Biffy Clyro signature part consists of 6 bars, which is unusual but cool. What's next? Okay, we've got the same idea in terms of harmony with a relatively unmelodic thing. It must be unmelodic because of the complexity in the harmonies. Highlighting this chromatic movement a little bit from that F sharp that we need for the B minor chord, and then boom, the F that we need for the B flat chord. Miss you. What is that? Miss you all. Right. So taking this from the B minor chord. Again with the 6 bar progression. Wow! Remember that we went from G to E minor? Well, they don't do that the 3rd time around, but instead my favorite chord in the world, which is the 4 minor chord. So let's quickly summarize this. Regular bridge, we talked about this, or regular, let's say, instrumental section before the I miss you all, I've blessed you all. The 3rd time we hear this, it becomes slightly different, where we go from 6 minor to flat 6 major to 1 to 6 minor. So far, so expected, or well, unexpected, but something that we've heard before. And then they go 4 minor, and beautifully resolving this to the 1 major chord and to that very, very powerful stadium rock last chorus. My love, it was too much but never enough. What's interesting with this, it was too much but never enough, I keep misphrasing this. They accelerate everything at the end in terms of melodic rhythm. So I keep saying it's too much but never enough, right? But Simon says, too much but never enough, right? Making this kind of rhythmically loose at the end.
It was too much, but never enough.
Never enough, right? So not very on the grid, but instead more lively.
Why did we even bother? Goodbye.
Okay, again this. Goodbye forever. Something that we know already.
Goodbye to everyone.
And they don't resolve it. So is it really goodbye to everyone if they don't resolve it? Hard to say. This was Goodbye by Biffy Clyro, and I'm sure we can take away valuable songwriting learnings. Songwriting learning number 1. It's a little contradiction to what I've been saying on this channel, which is that melody beginnings make all the difference between sections. In that case, we heard a song where all melodies, verse, pre-chorus, transitional bridge, and chorus start after the downbeat. So in theory, it should be kind of not very contrasting. They managed to create contrast, however. How did they do it? They worked with melodic variations that kind of keep building, keep building, keep building. We've heard this in the second verse half that may or may not be the pre-chorus. And they did it with harmonic options. So instead of playing the 6 minor at the beginning, as they did in the verse, they went for the 1 minor in the chorus, making everything totally different without needing to change the melody beginning, which is something that apparently still is a thing, right? So when I kept repeating that melody beginnings are everything, Biffy Clyro and Simon Neil kind of proved me wrong, because they proved that you can also create contrast with other very, very important tools such as arrangement, harmony, and melody movement. Songwriting learning number 2 is about exploring reharm options. They did it beautifully. They have got this original chord progression 6 minor 5 2 minor 4. Now for the chorus they choose to reharm only the 6 minor chord and play the 1 major chord instead. For the chord repetition for that second time they do different stuff, because they now do so they now do 1 to 3 major to 6 minor to 4. And then they had this third idea where they did, right, 1 to 5 with 3 in bass. Really tiny idea, but very powerful, to 2 minor to 4. And then from that material, they established a new idea that then went into the creation of that beautiful bridge with that flat 6 chord. So in terms of reharm, they kind of are presenting a masterclass here of different things that you can do based on one tonal center, but with a lot of modulations and modal interchanges that make everything really juicy and rocky and cool. And songwriting learning number 3, this has to do a little bit with that reharm going crazy in the primary bridge. If you've got a very complex harmonic structure, like this 6 minor to flat 6, sorry, this was not flat 6, to flat 6, to 1, to 6 minor, and then you also have the 4 to 4 minor thing and stuff, then sometimes it's a good idea to reduce complexity in the melody. And this they did with that I'll Miss You All, where they basically just do a 2-note melody.
Miss you all.
right? Ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. Really tiny range and little melodic, I should say, complexity, because everything in terms of complexity is already in the harmonies. So in order to not overload this, it's a very good idea to take away from the melodic complexity and genius in order to make your harmonies shine more. And this was my reaction on the fly analysis of Biffy Clyro's Goodbye. Now, if you liked my video, please make sure to give me the thumbs up, to subscribe to the Let's Talk Song channel, and to leave friendly comments. Also visit my new Linktree page for all further resources, like the almost but not quite complete guide to songwriting, or affiliate links, you name it. Also, you can support me on Patreon. Everything on the Linktree. I guess we've talked song. You can talk about escapism in the entertainment industry. Bye bye.